Welcome back to the channel, people. Today's topic is it's not the work within construction, people. It's the people. Sometimes we don't understand that as individuals, yeah? One sec. We sometimes think that we'll go into a job. The job is to replace a sink. The job is a tap running. But when you work around other people, yeah, one thing I've noticed a lot is that they carry everything with them emotionally, right? So if you've got a high stress job, right, like a tradesperson, yeah, perfect example, they can be very touchy. I mean, not touching you like this. I mean, touchy within the things what they say. Very abrupt, very rude. And today, I worked with someone who thought it was okay to be like that with me. But I'm not the one for you to be doing that with. Because for me, I see it as there must be other things going on in your head as a person why you think that's okay to talk to people with that type of energy or even act the way you act. But I will take some part in this, and I will say that when somebody's asked me about something when I'm working with them, and I know that they are rude, they're going to get the answer on its own when they ask me something. Oh, did you do it? It's fixed. That's all I'm going to say to you. I'm not going to go into detail about anything because you have to be talking to me with a certain level of respect for me to conversate with you. I just don't do that with people, you know? And this individual, I have said to him, you know, like, do you not think I know the procedure on what we're here to do or how this goes? I definitely do. It's not something I'm trying to hold over you, but I'm just letting you know because some of the things what you say towards myself, they're condescending, they're rude, but they're also uncalled for. Do you get it? And I've had this with like two different individuals, and I've told people a few times on my own channel that some of our older tradespeople are fucking moany as hell. I mean, they're not nice people to be around. They play and act to others, but you see their true persona and personality when they're just trying to be either the smart person or they're trying to be this person that, oh, I didn't get it, that you know, like I wasn't supposed to talk to you like that. Oh, it's because of my I didn't know the English word to say when it was this. Let me stop you for a minute. I say this with the most politest way I can, yeah. Most of these people the two people who I'm talking about who are over 60 in the 60s, and they carried themselves with like not a good attitude for work or not a good attitude towards me in general. Those two people have something very in common, which is when they're around others, they act differently like a child, you know. I've always told people that I've taught many kids in colleges while I was a lecturer, yeah, and I have said to them many a times, you have to be the best actor for your dad. But when I see adults being an actor for the work or for the 9 to 5 life, I'm like, really, really? And I watch you, I observe, I don't say anything because you end up just chiming in on people's bullshit. And that, in my life, is what I call low bearing fruit. So you have fruits that drop off of trees. I've got an apple tree in my garden over here, and the fruit what drops off at the bottom is called low bearing fruit. It's only good for compost right now. It's only good to throw in the corner and be fed back to the earth. Like, for me to engage within people inside the workplace and they're moving like low bearing fruit, again, I just watch them, distance myself and say, we see who you are. We see what type of person you are. That's not me. I do try and be a person who speaks my mind within reason. And I try not to be anyone who is perpetuating badness when we're at work. And when I mean badness, I mean, I'm not going to the extents to tell you that I'm going to slap you in your face. I mean, it's not that deep. It's deep enough because it ticked me off. It's deep enough for me to turn on my live video to tell you that we've got fucking bad people within construction. There's bad people who work over all of the fields in what is out there to do as a 9 to 5. Of course, there's an arsehole somewhere, everywhere. There's someone who you just don't get along with at work. Yours and their personality might collide. So it's all clash at the end of the day. You've felt like you've tried with this person, tried to be amicable, tried to be respectful, tried to be helpful. But again, if you keep getting that bad card shown up to you, it's like fucking someone putting that Uno card down on you. They're just trying to Uno you, Uno you, Uno you. Pick up two, pick up two. Big man. I've played this game with many people, and the game I'm playing now is all about the next move. It's never about the move what you can see in front of your face. You're bothered about this toxic place, and it will only take you a week or so to work out if like the person who you work with is toxic, if they hold those toxic traits. You know, I used to work with someone else daily, but is toxic as a person. Like, to everyone else, he's trying to perpetuate a great person. Oh, I've done this for this person. I do that for that person. I do this, I do that. But why don't we talk about the times when you're rude? Why don't we talk about the times when you've got more chest than a bodybuilder? Why don't we talk about the times when you feel that you're brighter than the sun? We don't, do you? Because you don't want to speak about stuff like that, because you will say it's just a relapse. It's just, oh, I'm just human. You're human and knowing better at 60s. At 60 years old, you know better in life how to move with people and what you're choosing to do. But I'm finding that some of these tradespeople are turning out to be this old, grumpy person. And for me, I just don't want nothing to do with people that are like that, to be honest. I know that financially people might be going through it. I know that there might be other stuff going on in the background. But if you can't control your emotions, young man, old man, don't come to a workplace. It's that simple. If you cannot control the way how you act around others during the 9 to 5 hours, don't be there. If it's that bad for you, do not be there. Do not participate in a normal thing which everyone else does. Goes to work, minds their business, tries to be polite to people, tries to be accommodating, and tries to be maybe a better version of themselves than they were yesterday. I'm always trying to be a better version of myself than 10 years ago, 5 years ago. The 5 years ago, 10 years ago person might have just told you, mate, put your tools down and come outside. How about that? How about we just take it to the street? Because I know if I slap you in the back of your head, it's going crazy. You'll get the biggest concussion in your life. But I ain't gonna draw myself down to that low level, because again, I don't pick up low bearing fruits. I don't pick up people's attitudes who are down here. I leave them. There's nothing for me and them to talk about. I let them know that I am not the one for you to be fucking with like that at all. Straight face. And again, we all do not like confrontation, especially within your workplace. It is so fucking jarring to have someone who you've all of a suddenly got some mini beef, mini type of problem with. Let's go outside. Let's talk about it like boys. Let's come back inside, and you're either going to drop it or we'll just put the gloves on. How about that? Because you've obviously got a problem to that degree. But the older version, the version of me today feels like I want to be more of a Kofi Annan peacemaker. But I've realized that these individuals who are, and it's mainly guys who are over 60. I don't care if there are a few guys who are over 60 watching it now. You know, sometimes I have to ask myself, why are you so grumpy and upset? Why have you got the worst energy out of everyone? Why is it when we think about you, we just think about bad vibes? Why? Do you get it? Like, I always thought to myself, as you get older, yeah, you should get a little bit more wiser. But that doesn't happen for everybody. Everybody doesn't grow with age and grow with wisdom. They grow and get more institutionalized into the way they've been brought up, because I've been brought up to, guys can say whatever they want to say to guys and no one ain't going to do you for nothing. That's your school. My school is, we'll have a rockers outside because we know you can't fight because you're feeble at this time. Someone fighting you who's 30 years younger than you will bruck you up. You know that. And the worst thing to do is to get bruck up inside your workplace. It's not going to look good for you. But these people being the way they are, because I know 2 individuals who are like this, right? And again, like I said to you, the facade, what they put on for others, maybe it fools them. Maybe people think that they're stupid. I don't really know. But I know the real you, and I know that the real you is condescending, rude, feels like there's someone, when that's never the energy. If you got that end of the stick from myself or anything like that, I wouldn't even tell any of them 2 people sorry at this point in life. You'd have to get on with your life, my boy. And that's the reality of it, is that when I'm coming to work nowadays or any day, I'm looking to get to the end of it with minimal stress, with minimal things on my mind to make me think that, did I have a good day? You should never have that much effect on me. Like, I shouldn't have that much effect on someone else, because the way I'm trying to move in work, I'm just trying to be helpful. I'm trying to be polite. I'm trying to be respectful. And I'm also trying to be a better version of myself. So letting you pull me into my old school character, where my old school character would want to just slap you in the back of your head. You heard me the first time. Slap you into oblivious. I won't do that. I'll draw back and say, you know what? Let me distance myself from this person inside this 9-to-5 situation, because whatever problem you have, yeah, you've got a mouth on you, some ears on you, so you could talk and tell me what you dislike, maybe about something what I've done, maybe about something what's happened, and then you move past it. But to carry stuff on and feel like you are the person who's the judge, the jury, and probation, I mean, what can I say? I rarely come across people who feel like that, but I have done. I've come across like 2 different types of characters what have been like that. And what I will never do is, I'll never be the person who's being bullied and made to feel some type of way through my actions, which I know I have thought very carefully about when I'm doing it, to make sure I'm doing the right things. And if I was doubting myself at any point, I'm not so locked up that I couldn't ask someone for help, or even just to ask them, could you don't mind double checking this because I'm not sure about this. Just a question, right? But the common thing between these two people who I know that are like this is their age. Yeah, they're both tradespeople as well, and their age. And they've both got this type of attitude, which is in, oh, I know this. You don't have to tell me this. Big man, if you knew so much, what the fuck are you doing working? You don't. Everybody at work doesn't know everything. They don't know how to make money for themselves independently outside the workplace. They don't know how to make themselves a millionaire. They don't know how to make their life successful, so they're possibly never working ever again. So you don't know everything. And the things people choose to talk about and be passionate about, it shows a lot from their characters, right? So I was talking to the other person who is 60, who is also a rude individual. We spoke about winning a competition which was online about mystery voices, right? And the question was, if you got £750,000, yeah, paid in your account on Friday, tax free, boom, are you stopping work or are you carrying on? They told me that they're carrying on work because their customers need them, but you need to retire and you're working so you can get money. So the sense for me was just like, that makes no sense. That makes no sense. But it only makes sense if you don't have any savings in life and what you're paying off is like maybe 400,000, maybe a bit higher. I don't really know. Or you might have other lingering debt, like you haven't got your P's together in life. And it's funny because that same person was talking to me about when you get older, you need an exit plan. And if somebody, so I wanted to ask the question, if you had a plan, like as in like, you had a plan, you were sticking to it, you saved yourself 100 grand, 200 grand, 300 grand, and now you've won 750 grand. You're just telling me that you're going to keep working. And I had to ask another question after that. I followed that person up with another question. And I said, you know, the purpose of you working is because you enjoy it, right? But you've enjoyed being a tradesperson for 50 years. There has to be some end to that run because you can't go on forever doing a physical job like a plumber. You know, you're up and down. You can't lift up a boiler. You can't lift up a boiler on your own at 60. You can't even hang heavy radiators at 60 because they're too heavy for you. So what else could you do which is not so strenuous, but you can still carry on with maybe your passion, which might be being a tradesperson, right? You could move further up the chain. You could get someone else in to do certain works. But because you've got this egotistical mindset, oh, nobody can do it like I do it. They might not have the same method as you by doing something, but they've got their own ways of doing stuff. And if you show somebody how you specifically want someone to do something, they can only listen, learn, and follow. But when you do none of, you don't want no one to do it. You want to be this one person that people rely on, or, oh, wait for blah, blah, blah to do it. You're not that special. Sad to say, but you're not. You know, there's someone who will replace everyone in due time. It's that simple, you know. to the person at work, I mean, people sometimes can be threatened by the younger generation's attitude towards work and then being so able, right? So what they like to do is not tell you anything and try and make you suffer the hard way. So you either might give up the job or you end up slacking off of doing your normal duties, what you would do at a 9 to 5 job. And you get these individuals that sometimes try and set you up within the workplace, right? Within like, oh, yeah, he was doing this and he was doing that. Big man, didn't you say you was 60 years old? Ain't you somebody's granddad? And you're still doing this type of schoolboy behavior. I don't understand it. And I never will understand it, because whether you're white, black, Asian, whatever you are, you're not my problem. You never will be my problem. My problem is only getting to the end of the day, which I've done yesterday, I've done the day before, and I've done it the night before that. So why are you trying to fuck up that flow of things? It just baffles me a lot of the time, man. You know, I really love being a tradesperson. Yeah, I really love what I do. I like it. I talk about it. I live it. But there's certain parts of being in this industry which I can never fucking understand. I can never understand why an older gentleman would want to be an arsehole. I couldn't. Life isn't that long for you to have an arsehole reign. Oh, I'm going to be a dickhead now. You don't have to be that person. It's all by choice. A lot of these people, they know how to do better, but they choose not to because they want to feel like they're that person getting on that person's nerves. Who are you going to tell? Do you think your wife, who's 60 years old as well, is impressed with that as well? Or when you go down to the bowling club, do you think they're impressed with you antagonizing someone or being an arsehole in a situation when you are the senior person, senior citizen, as they call it? You're the old guy, you know. Do you want to end up that old, lonely, bitter person? I think some of these people actually do. And the way they're going is that direction, which is arrowed all dickheads over here. And I've always tried to think deep, like why some of these people are like this. And I do feel that it's like, if they see you as a young person being successful in any type of way, whether you got a nice car, nice tools, you speak highly of yourself, you feel that you can go places in life, they want you to feel the same shit they've been going through in life, which is a bit unfair for anybody who's getting into something, because it gives you a bad taste of how somebody ends up who doesn't make it, who feels resentful towards others, and that moves with a bad energy around life. You know, it's very, very sad, man, that these people are like this. But I understand that the two types of people I'm talking about, there's someone's dad, there's someone's uncle who moves like that. And it's a shame to say that someone you know is moving like that in life today, when we've got all the levels of communication to be able to speak to people, even if they are a different language and you don't understand their culture, identity. We have the internet where you can go and say, oh, okay, well, you know, this person who's European people respect the older generation, like you're supposed to show respect to them and blah, 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 blah. So showing respect to them is being polite, not being rude, not being condescending, and turning up like you're ready to work. I do all that above, but you still chose to be rude or chose to ask a question which you was present for. So I don't know what you expected the answer to be. Oh, have you finished with that? Well, does it look like I've finished with it? I've turned it off and isolated it. Making safe is the first thing you need to do. So once you've made safe, then you can assess the situation and work out what you need, if you have it, and if it's possible to fit. How are you supposed to do that while you've just turned it off? Because if you can do that, mate, you're fucking Houdini and you need a fucking medal for the way you carry on. But you don't. You don't know how to do that. You have to look into a job when you do stuff. It's not as easy as just picking up something and, oh, I'll just jump into it and do that. Who do you think we are? Fucking Superman. I'm not a grumpy lad. Whoa. It's a shame that we've got to speak about grumpy granddads and grumpy lads in life, but it's something which happens to some people within this construction bubble, because that's what they fucking live in, a bubble. They feel that sometimes they're given right to be able to speak to people in a condescending way or in a way which they know themselves. If someone was speaking to them like that, they're fucking blowing their top because you know it's rude. And then at some point, you want everybody to forget about it and go on like everything's hunky-dory the next day. I do not carry stuff with me until the next day. What's done is done in today, and we put it to bed. But putting it to bed doesn't mean that we all the time forget about it. I can't forget when someone is rude, condescending, talks to me like they haven't got any respect. But you want me to have respect for you because you might be older. It doesn't work like that. I've had to earn respect from people who may have seen me for the first time and had this judgment about me. Oh, black boy, gold tooth, you don't know shit, you don't know rare tear. It's cool. I'm not a claimer to know everything in life. That's why sometimes when I'm working with these older men, how do you want to do this job? I might ask that question to them. And they might feel like, oh, but you said you was a plumber. You said you know this. But how do you want to do it? Because if I do it my way, there might be something that I do where you feel that, oh, you missed something out, or, oh, I've never done it like that before. I do it like this. That's why I've asked you. Not asked you because I'm incapable. I've not asked you that. I've asked you because I want to know, is there a process what you want me to follow in this way so it goes smoothly how you want it? Because I was working with both of these two individuals, and long-term plumbers who are well experienced, they like to do jobs a certain way. I'll take this off, then take that off, and then we do that bit, and then we do this bit. Work in stages, right? Cool, no problem. But if there's a plan, speak. I'll listen. We'll talk back and forward, and then we'll get it done. That's just what everybody else does. But I think that sometimes, because they feel that they're older and they've been through a lot more things in life, you know, World War I and all that shit, they just feel like they can be this obnoxious asshole with no consequences because no one else's feelings or no one else's comes into no one else should be bothered about the way how they carry on because that's what they do. Big yourself up, Don, man. I see you in the chat. I'm just saying, it's not everyone that we have to deal with like that on this type of temperature when it comes to people treating you in the wrong way when you know all you've done is tried to be the better version of yourself. Be the person who is a team player. Be the person who is trying to do whatever tasks we're doing at work without it getting personal. Do you know what I mean? So back to that story, what I was telling you about this other person winning 750k. I realized at some point that me and you have got different goals in life. My goal is to make money and not have to do the same thing religiously rest of my life. It's to have some type of level of progression. And for others, they're not at this point in life where they feel progression is, it's all they know, it's all they do. They ain't got anything else going on in life, which is sad to me, I feel, because when this is taken away from you, how are you going to be? You don't have anything else to fall back on. You don't have any friends because everyone else doesn't want to be your fucking friend because they know you're an arsehole. So it's sad because that's why we get a lot of these lonely older men when they get older, because they've fucking burned their bridges with people who used to be their friend, who used to want to put up with them, who used to think that, oh, he's cool. He's a fucking arsehole. Been an arsehole for years. And it's only you just see it now, but you don't know what goes on in closed doors. That's what someone might say to them. And that might make you think sometimes. I think... Yes, maybe, Don, maybe. So I was reading a comment. But yeah, people, all I want to say is just that everyone I meet is not a dickhead. I try to treat people with as much respect as I can, but we do get the odd person who is just being extra, and extra in a sense of, you know, even being a telltale. Like the last guy I was talking about, he told off of me to someone today, and it got back to me. I could work out who it was straight away. And I'm just like, 60, 63, you're still telling off of people. What is this coming to, man? What is it coming to? Like, there was back in the day, not so much in my day, because I'm not that fucking old, but there was, in my early days, if you had a problem with a man, just tell him to come outside, man. Come outside, because you seem like you got some type of extra energy for me, and we're going to find out today. And again, it is testing someone's minerals, seeing if they got it like that. Because if you ain't, just pipe it down, man. Pipe it down. Do you know how silly you would look? A 60-year-old man, bald head, with a bandage around your head because someone slapped you that hard and gave you concussion. You'd look stupid. Stupid. And the other person would always look like the aggressor because they've done the act of violence towards you. But I'm just telling my tradespeople and anyone who's just listening to this in general that low-bearing fruit was went off. Them 60-year-old man who are still pissed off at other people, talking about back in my day, you know, I used to work this and I used to do that, and I used to do this with my dad and I used to do that with my dad. Your dad didn't set you up for life. That's why you're still working, big man. It's just a fact. If your dad was so great, why didn't he give you the skills to be able to maneuver in life? Or did you not just fucking listen? You was hard of hearing. We don't know what it could be. I work at Sainsbury's warehouse, and I've been told the fella who comes in outside is lets me sort it out. He didn't let you know every time. Yeah. See, it's not just me sometimes. So Don was saying he works at Sainsbury's warehouse, yeah. He told the fella to come outside and sort this out, and he didn't even He didn't even come outside. I'll let you know how everything goes. Look, if we're men, sometimes we can talk about things outside, off camera. Yeah. And when I say I tell people to come outside and we'll see if we can sort this out, it's because in front of people, people play up a theatrical game. They play this game of mind games with you, foolishness. They play a game like, you know, I didn't mean it like that, but I said it. Oh, okay. So you're 60 something and you've never had a dictionary. So you don't know the meaning of words. You just say them. Mad. You've never wrote a letter before, have you? Definitely not. Because if you did, you would look up meanings of words, what they mean, and being able to structure them properly in sentences. And again, you got to remember a lot of these people choose to be like this in this environment, but when they go home, they're some different person. So you're not even really like that because your wife wouldn't put up with that. If you have a wife, your partner wouldn't put up with that. Someone said, I thought you said 7'6", you said 76. I thought he was going to say 6'7", 6'7" in the chat. Yeah, peeps, look, I know it's hard for some people sometimes just to communicate on a level because the older generation might be just tapped out on talking to people and feeling that you need to match. They're trying to match your energy when you're in no physical state to have a one-on-one straightener round the corner if it was that with that person. You're not able. You're feeble, big man. Like, you've not got any, there's no vavavoom in you. You get it? All your mojo, it's out of there. You ain't got nothing if someone's asking you to come around the corner. But the whole point is that people of my era ain't going to tell you to come around the corner because it's not even worth none of that shit. What it's worth is identifying what type of person you actually really are. You're a person who is like a narcissist. You're a person who probably feels like they get kicks off of, oh, I wind you up. Oh, I said this about you. I said that about you. Cool, man. You know, the day's going to end soon. And when the day ends, it's going to be another day. You're going to have to keep that energy up. I ain't going to play into it because I already know you're like a piece of fruit was dropped on the floor or a piece of fruit fell off a tree, which was growing and blossoming. But now at the bottom of the tree, you can see how the apples go bad. I'm not interested in picking up bad apples, low-bearing fruit, idiot vibes, dickhead moves, dads who don't get fucking Father's Day cards because everybody knows you're a prick. Do you get it? I'm not into entertaining any of those people because we're not here to have back and forth with each other. I'm just here to do my job, get on with it, speak at times when I need to be spoken to, and talk to you when I need to be talking to you, and not do anything extra because I'm not here to entertain. I'm just here to get on with my work and just live my life, really. But we all get these arseholes. I just always tell my people just don't bother. Shut the book, man. Because at times what people do towards you sometimes can be racially motivated, depending on what type of race you are. You know, like I work with a lot of different races of people, and I don't feel this guy is doing this to me because I'm the young black guy. No, I don't. I just feel that he's doing this because he's a dickhead. I called him out on one or two things, probably didn't like it, right? But if I call you out and ask you about something and you don't know, and I've left the notes on a bit of paper so you can read it and understand it, and if you didn't understand anything, just call me out and I'll explain it to you. It's not a problem. you might feel like I'm trying to take your job. I tell you now, nobody wants your fucking job. Nobody wants to be in the spot where you're in, because it's like a molded seat. Nobody wants to sit there. But I would like to know, how many of you lot, yeah, come across these types of individuals, and are they in your workplace, man? Because I seem to find these pricks in the workplace. No, I can't say no matter where I go, because I've been to some places where there's just nobody. Like, everyone is not on this toxic vibe. And I can deal with a toxic vibe, a place that I work at, but I just know to myself that it can't be long term, because it just makes you be in a mood towards others, and also it puts me in a place of being like a recluse, when I'm a very social person. You know, I've got no problem with socializing with people, being respectful, learning about other people's cultures, identities, just having a chat, really, you know, getting to know someone when I'm at work, while we're working or whatever. What do you do on a weekend, blah 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 blah. But I can be a person who is just yes or no. No, yes, I could be that person, but I find that person is the super mundane, boring version of myself, and I'd rather not be that. I'd rather be upbeat, smiling. How's it going? Can I help you with anything? Blah 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 blah. Than be yes no vibe with people. I mean, I get up out of my bed, and I don't get up out of my bed on the wrong side of my bed. I get up out of my bed happy, thankful that I've got a job, ready to work, feeling like cool, I'm ready to go. But I ain't got time to pray at the end of my bed and say, please don't let someone piss me off today. Don't, bro. If you do it, you're gonna find out. Because I live on this border of this. Look, fuck around and you'll find out. That's my border. That's it. You know, I don't need to take back any talk from people anyway. Yeah. So, guys, I just want to know if you have anybody like this at work. I needed some time to vent about this situation, and I'm glad that you guys have been able to be there for me and listen, because it helps at times. You know, we all need people to listen to the things which go on in life. But I just wanted to make a conversation about it, because I'd met these individuals in different places, and like I said, the common point about it is they're all 60 years old. They all should have made something of themselves, but they're not in those positions. And I think sometimes they look at others, and it might be a bit of jealousy, might be a bit of enviness, might be a bit like, I'm going to be an arsehole to you because my daughter would like guys like you. Maybe it's that. I'm not really sure. Let me know what you think it is in the comment section below, peeps. But right now, I'm out. Thanks for everybody coming on. And I'll make sure you like this video before I leave it, and drop a little